Good day, everyone. I hope you are doing well. And here we are for another Formula One podcast. Many interesting news today again. But before we begin, I want to remind you to subscribe to this channel so that you can stay up to date with the latest news in Formula One. So, where do we start today? Well, believe it or not, we have a Formula One world champion. We do. Virtual one, at least. Last weekend, George Russell won the virtual Canadian Grand Prix on the Montreal circuit, Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. It was his fourth win in a row for the esports series that has been going on for a few months now, since the beginning of the confinement, since the Australian Grand Prix was cancelled. And no, it was a close fight with in the championship with Charles Leclerc, but Leclerc did not participate to the Canadian race. I mean, we can understand with everything that's going on. We're going back on track, and I believe Leclerc was in Silverstone or coming back from Silverstone from practice run with an old Ferrari to get back into it. But yeah, it did. The esports series did bring some entertainment during those few months. And it was officially the last race. Ooh, it's really sunny out here. It was officially the last race of the esports series because, as you all know by now, we are going back racing in Austria in just a few weeks' time. Beginning of July, beginning of the official Formula One season. But still, we want to congratulate George, and it goes to show that he is a good driver. He was beating some professional sim driver during those races that he literally owned. So, congrats to him, and we hope that we will see his talent on track, that he will get a good car this year, that we will have the possibility to fight with the best. It's under my shoe. Okay. Sorry. So yeah, great job, George, and keep us entertained this year. We're looking forward for a great Formula One season with you. Next big news is the fact that there's a very, very good chance. I mean, it's getting more clear now that Sebastian Vettel will probably take a year off next year, as there's no real open seat for him. A few days ago, Racing Point's management said that they had no discussion with Vettel whatsoever right now to potentially replace Lance Stroll, which means that if he's not going to Mercedes, not going to Ferrari, obviously, Renault is locked, Racing Point, no discussions, McLaren is locked. That only leaves, the likes of Haas, which I don't really see Vettel going to. Alfa Romeo, maybe if Kimi leaves, Vettel will want to join, but yeah, it's unlikely. And Williams, I also think it's pretty unlikely. And in an interview, Mark Webber did say that he thinks that Vettel is due for a year off to just put back his thought into place. Some people playing soccer right here. I know it's pretty popular in Europe there. So, pretty cool. The confinement is slowly progressing here in Montreal. So yeah, Sebastian Vettel probably gonna take a year off, according to Weber, since it's not really, there's nowhere he can go, and obviously he's not happy to wake up these days and go to Ferrari and to jump in that red car. It's gonna be an interesting season too for Vettel, because if he's not coming back next year with Ferrari, it also means he's probably gonna ignore all the team orders, because he really got nothing to lose. If he's not coming back with Ferrari, why bother with team orders? So it could be an interesting season. Will he be at his best, considering that he will not impose on himself any restrictions? But it could also be dangerous. I mean, if he's too wild, maybe Ferrari will decide to replace him before the end of the season with their test driver or one of their driver in line. Maybe Antonio Giovinazzi could be the first Italian at Ferrari since Giancarlo Fisichella in 2009, I think. I'm not sure. Please correct me if I'm wrong. So that was the last update for Vettel. How about we go to Mercedes? Two interesting facts for Mercedes. First one is that Bottas did not take it easy on himself during those few months of confinement. When this all began, he was in Monaco, but quickly moved to Finland, and he managed to gain access to a rally track, or at least some kind of racing track. And since the beginning of the confinement and all the COVID crisis, Bottas has been driving every week, saying it was either a rally car or a go-kart, but he was driving something flat out every week, and now that's just helping him getting back in the Formula One mood. So some kids in the bike here wonder what I'm doing. Always cute. People training over there. So I was saying, Bottas has been going flat out, and if he's been practicing all these weeks, and Hamilton was maybe taking it a little bit more easy, just maybe that could give him the edge for the beginning of the season, for this season, like Nico Rosberg had in 2016, when he was just doing everything he possibly could to beat Hamilton, and he did. So, will Bottas have an edge on Lewis in 3 weeks? We'll see. But it's good to see that these guys are taking their work seriously, that they were expecting a comeback. And I honestly hope that we can have a very good fight for a championship, whether it's between Valtteri and Lewis, or any two drivers on the grid. We want to see some fight. Yeah, let's bring it on. Let's race. Again on Mercedes, they are losing their engine managing director, Andy Cowell, who's been with the team for many years. He's been at the head of the V6 hybrid development back in 2014. So he's the one who's mainly responsible for such great success for the Silver Arrows. Decided that he needed a new challenge. Just to summarize his career in Formula One, he used to work for Stewart's and BMW when they had their good years, and like I said, now Mercedes. For the time being, senior workers of the department will split the workload. His successor will be, again, one of the senior worker, Hywell Thomas. I don't have a summary of his curriculum with me right now, but he's been with Mercedes for some time, that I can tell. And there's going to be a smooth transition going all the way to the beginning of 2021. So it's not like he's Cowell's quitting now. It's a smooth transition, and earpiece about to fall off. Yeah, smooth transition, and we'll see. Does this spell, potential disaster for Mercedes? Not disaster, but less performance in the upcoming years. We'll see. But so far they've dominated the V6 hybrid era, and I guess if they have some good stuff, it's not going to be an issue. They're going to make it through and still deliver very, very good results. Renault, they will be testing this week, I believe, in Austria with their 2018 car. So they opted not to go to Silverstone like most of the other teams. They are going to Spielberg with the 2018 car, getting back in the mood, feeling those G-force around the Red Bull ring. So that's going to be good for them. They're going to practice on the Red Bull ring, even though it's not the 2020 car. They're going to have a feel for that track a little bit before everyone else. Is that cheating? Meh. I mean, Renault are making their effort to give up the rest. I don't think that's cheating. We want to see Ocon and Ricciardo as high as they can be on the F1 grid when we come back. Ocon's going to be something to watch. I mean, after 1 year off of Formula 1, he's going to be eager to race again. Ricciardo, will his motivation still be there? That's another question, knowing he's leaving for McLaren and did not seem too happy during the testing at Barcelona. It's going to be a strange atmosphere, I believe, at Renault, and even at Ferrari with Vettel, like we discussed earlier. Could we have 2 races in China? Apparently, the Shanghai officials have received the offer from Formula 1 management, from the organizers. That's a possibility. Remember that the Chinese Grand Prix was the first to be cancelled at the beginning of the season, and obviously the situation is evolving every day. We still don't know even if we are going back to China to begin with, but there's a possibility if we are going back that we will get 2 races there, which would also help to spice up the championship. We know the Shanghai track is really well liked by a lot of people, so that's another topic to follow. And that's about it for this F1 vlog. If you guys like driver stories, if you like Kimi Räikkönen, go read this article on the Formula 1 website about how his life changed after he got a kid, going from a wild party man to a family man who's now taking his life very quietly. Interesting article on the Formula 1 website. And that's all I have. Thank you guys. Please subscribe so that you can stay up to date with the latest news on the Formula 1. And I hope you have a great day. I'll see you soon for another Formula 1 vlog. Thank you guys.